Welcome everyone in this live development video about building an auto battle game. In this video we're going to clean up some of the bugs, a lot of the bugs we had, but we're not going to search for them because I've already searched for them. And I've took some screenshots and we're just going to fix them, and I'm going to explain why they were bugging and why is the fix going to work, why is the fix working. But before we dive right in, I just wanted to talk about the two threads I created on Unreal. One is just to talk about the development of that series of tutorial, and you can check it out in the community content tools and tutorial part of the forum. So if you'd like to head over there and post a message, it will be awesome if you'd like to do this. And the other one is for a request of I'm looking for a character artist or animator, and everything is explained in that thread, and I will post the link to that thread in the description of that video. And I'm actually looking for someone to replace the units we're using in the project. So these units, I'm looking for someone to replace them. So if you're an artist following that series of tutorial, which is kind of unlikely, I must admit, but I had to talk about it anyway. So if you're interested, make sure to head over there, and I'd be glad to talk with you about that. So we had several bugs, and I fixed them. And as you can see, I reduced the size of my window because it was more convenient for me to check out everything. So for now, I will increase them up again. We want that size by default, I think. Yeah, for example, we want that size. That's okay. So, but before we fix our bugs, we're just going to re-enable the fact that we have a lot of different units, because I'm tired of having only renders. And I can do this because I actually set up all of my animation blueprints, if I'm not mistaken. So yep, we have lots of units now. So we're going to fix up all of the bugs we had. So let's open up this screenshot first. So first thing we want to do, let's open up our list of bugs. So team color bug, this is the first bug we're going to fix actually. So where was the bug coming from? So this is the bug. So we were clearing the hosted player of all of our battlefields, of all of our fight zone, but we were doing this at the wrong time. Sometimes we were doing this after that the server has sent us the information about the new match, which meant that we were actually deleting the information about the new match, which led to the player clients not knowing what players were owning each battlefield, and therefore it was showcasing pink color as if it didn't find the owner, which was the case. So we have a clear combat phase function in which we actually clear the hosted player of the battlefield, and this is what we want to put in the rep notify function, update battlefield hosted player. So we want to clear this only when we receive the new information about it. So we're going to collapse this to a function, clear fight zone hosted players, and we're going to remove it from here. We're going to remove the execution pin, and we're going to head over our unwrap player current battlefield, go to update player current battlefield, and put this function here. And we're going to put this in the face folder, I guess, for now. We'll see where it goes afterwards. I guess it goes in combat, logically. Clear fight zone hosted player, and we should never have pink units ever again, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, so we don't have pink units anymore, so I can delete that image. I have a copy of this anyway. Next bug we're going to fix fails to unregister on client after combat phase. Sometimes unit don't fight each other, sometimes fight never ends, client doesn't receive match results. So all of these are kind of tied to the same thing, which is the fact that the unit pool is not properly handled, and the fact that sometimes when we actually try to unload a unit from the list of units on the left here, it fails to unload it because we have a reference to that unit using its name, knight, but sometimes the client receives the information that it has to remove the units in here, whereas the unit has already been sent to the pool. And when the unit is sent to the pool, we are actually removing its name, and we set its name to none. So the client tries to remove that unit from the list of units there, but it's trying to find the unit by its name none, and it's failing to find the knight. And this error is actually preventing us to handle some other stuff. So we're going to change the logic a bit to make it so when the unit's name is changed to none, it's going to get pulled. And we're going to store the unit name in a variable, in an unreplicated variable. So we're going to start up with this. So we're going to open up our units and add over our set unit state, and when we're actually going to the static name, we're going to create a new variable named previous unit's name, which is going to be, and this is going to be a name, and we're going to put this here. And when we are being unpooled, we're going to store our name like this. So we don't want that anymore. So what do we want? We want to use that name when we store units, when we remove units from our fight zone debugger. So we're just gonna open this real quick. Fight zone debugger. Oh, we want the fight zone entry in here. In here we don't want to grab the unit row, we want to grab the last unit name, previous unit name, and we want to plug this here. We're fine. What else do we want to do? So yeah, we need to make sure that this is in the units. We want to make sure that the units actually never overlaps with a square when its name is equal to none. This should never happen, because when its name is none, it means its collision is disabled. I mean, no, that's why we need to do this, because I think we enabled the collision with squares when we put unit back in pool. So we have to do this check to make sure an unregistered unit never finds its square using only its collisions. So we can delete that one. Next thing on the list is to actually pull the units using the none, using the name, because right now we are pulling units using set unit state, I think. So in the clear combat phase of our game state, phase combat, clear combat phase, in here we are telling unit to go to the pool states, and we are actually going to set their name, but we're only set unit row, I think it, yeah, set unit row, but we are only going to do this on the server. We're pulling each and every unit. We want to delete this. We don't want to take care about this yet. And in the units, when the unit name changes on rep unit row, we want to set unit state to pooled when its name goes to none. We're going to delete this, and we might have something else to do regarding this. Yep. And in the fight zone, we actually need to do something I talked about when we were building it, but I wasn't sure if we had to do it or not. So when we spawn units, we are clearing the alive units, and we don't need to do this, because this is only triggering on server because the fight zone spawns combat units. So we need to delete this, and we need to remove from the list of alive units all the units that are going back to the unit pool, like this. So we want to delete this. And now we have two other things to fix. So the fact that a unit shouldn't be able to go to a state that it is already in. So we're just going to open up our unit, go to set unit state, and in here we want to check if the unit state we want to go in is actually different from our current unit state. And if that's the case, we're going to go ahead and set the unit state. But we are also going to make sure that the unit state by default is set to static, because we're sending the unit in the pool state by default. And if we do this, we won't be able to trigger all of this. We won't be able to trigger all of this logic when we pull the units in its construction script, because we wouldn't pass that branch. So we want to set that to static. So we can get rid of this. And the other things we need to fix is to make sure that we have a timer when the combat phase ends. We don't need it, but we need to have the possibility to fix this, to have a timer when the combat phase ends. And I'm actually thinking on, so this is triggering when the final player has won his match or went for a draw. This is waiting 5 seconds before teleporting player back to the recruitment, to their base, to the recruitment phase. So we're going to head over our phase combat category, on match ended, on combat phase ended. We want to go there, and what do we want to do here? We want to set timer by events. So when this ends, we want to cancel. Can we cancel the timer? Launch phase timer, current phase counter, decrease phase timer. So yeah, we can interrupt. We can interrupt this. So we need to interrupt that counter when we actually. So I think we'll just. I think we have a logic that should do this, because we'll have something. This is going to be a function, cancel phase timer, which we're going to put in our timer category. And we're setting this here on rep phase counter. Yep. So when the phase timer, and that's not where we want to be. On phase, on match, on combat phase ended, we want to cancel phase timer, and we want to create an event that says on combat phase ended. We want to promote this to a variable, delay combat phase and delay. We're going to put this in the metrics folder, and this is going to be public. Sometimes we call wait delay. Win timer delay, initial delay, game launch delay, combat phase end delay. That's fine. So if this is greater than 0, if not, we're just gonna trigger on combat phase ended. On phase timer end. on phase timer end like this, and this is gonna last like 1 second by default. So we're fine with this. We're going to delete, yeah, we need to store that timer into our phase timer, just in case we cancel it or do something like this. So let's delete this. There's nothing to show here. So we should have got rid of the team color bug, of this and that. So everyone should already receive all information. Everyone should trigger a victorious state. The server is not supposed to pull extra units in the end. So if you're seeing bug you haven't seen before, don't worry, you didn't miss a video. I just added some bug while I was fixing some. I just found out some other bugs. So we're going to try with 4 players. So previously I tried to spam the plus key to switch phases like a madman, and it didn't bug. So I hope we won't have bugs. And we have tons of new units, so we're going to play around a bit just to see if we have bugs. Units are fighting each other. The knight is hitting very hard. So we have a victory, a defeat. Oh, we have some bugs here. Oh no, they were playing their disanimation. Their disanimation was looping. Yeah, so we didn't have a bug. I just want to make sure that this is the issue here, but I'm pretty convinced it is. So if I open all of them up, and go to their dead state, are we looping? No, we're not. Dead, are we looping? Yes, we are. So I'm just going to quickly fix this. And I think we're going to be fine with that video. You might want to stay just real quick, because I might hit play once more and we might find a bug, but I'm pretty convinced that we should not, because I spent like 3 hours yesterday tracking them and fixing them. In the correct way, not in an hotfix way. And I think we're going to handle bugs like this from now on, because I realized I had trouble. I was really faster at finding bugs, and I was better at finding the proper way to fix them when I wasn't recording. When I'm recording, I'm better at just doing stuff, not thinking about stuff. So, and we lost some time doing this, so we want to be more performant in the future regarding this. Not only will it save you time and boredom, but it will just be better for the project overall. So I think we're fine. We are never going to... I think we have a solid logic here. So they're gonna hit each other like trucks. So they're all dead. Everybody died. So they're not playing. They weren't playing their victory animation, I think. Or I just didn't scale it, so we weren't really able to tell. So we'll just do something real quick. We'll go to our units, BP units. When we set their state, oh, we want the combat unit, I guess. When we set their unit states on victory, we will draw a debug point here. Duration size like this at the position of the units. And we're also gonna say that combat phase end delay is like 10 seconds, just so we can clearly see what's going on. So one of the fight is going to take like hours, and the other one is going to be pretty fast. I'm not sure who am I up against, we'll see. So it's fine. So they are victorious. Yeah, but we're being sent back to the combat phase, yeah. So we'll only see them victorious. Oh. So yeah, we are in the wait for the duration. Yeah. It's okay. So it's not properly done. It seems like it was working. It's just that the animation weren't really readable. So, but I think we have something to change here. Launch phase timer. I think we want to be calling this when on match ended, on combat phase ended. In here we don't want to do this. I think we want to launch phase timer. But if we're doing this, yeah, I think it's gonna work. We're just gonna try, because we want players and everyone to be able to see that 10 seconds delay we added there. It will help us understand better what's going on. And we want to stay longer. We want to stay longer when we're winning. So when we win, this match has ended. So it's in our camera switcher, I think. In here. No, in our in-game HUD actually. So when we receive the information, so I'm sorry, my cat is playing with my wire just a little bit. Yep, like this is gonna be better. So when we enter a new phase, when we actually receive the fact that, not the phase feedback, on player match ended, in here delayed camera switch, we're going to grab our game state ref and we are going to add a new variable here in the metrics folder, combat phase end delay, duplicate match end delay, which is gonna be 10 seconds as well. We're going to grab that and we're going to use that value in our in-game HUD. Match end delay. This is actually the delay before going back to base. We're going to write it down. Delay before camera goes back to base after a match ended, after the player match ended. Camera match end delay, we're gonna call this. And now we will better be able to see what's going on in our fights. Poor dudes, they are gonna die. So he's victorious. They are victorious. First time we can play around a bit without seeing much bugs, I believe. So we're just gonna enjoy a bit. So they are victorious. So we're pretty happy about this. And I guess, so what I tried to do the other time was that, hitting plus like a madman. I wanted to see how it behaves. Does it bug? So we're there. We're going. Everything goes fine. So we are really happy about this. If it still works, we're just gonna wait to see if everything is working everywhere. We're going to do something about this. We can't see much of what's going on. Maybe we'll do some kind of zoom feature and maybe some kind of way to make units not stack up as much. So they are victorious. They are as well. So it seems to be working. We're pretty fine. We're pretty happy. Oh! So I know what's... Yeah, so I think that's... I think we just need to do this. I think it comes from the fact that we escaped the game. I think the error comes from the... yeah, from the fact that we escaped the game. Adaptates to... if this is a package cooked build. Yeah, I think we're fine with this error. So we're just gonna refresh all nodes everywhere. We're gonna save. And we're gonna call this video over. So hope you guys enjoyed it and hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.